Okay, this should be the last part. It's going to be a two-parter because there's not much left on this. But so far, we've got our weight with our ring on there. And this is about a 3/4 inch diameter hole. What you're going to want to do is take your 1-inch ring that you got from Lowe's, or if you can find them at Home Depot. I did the same thing. I just cut it. I cut out the, there's a little weld. I don't know if you can see that right there. I cut that part out. And then I cleaned up the edges. Like so. And then you're going to take your chain, your other end, pop it in, and then do the same thing. Just go ahead and twist these back into place. Like so. Open up your vice grips, your channel locks again. Go to the other side. Now, for the last step, you're going to want to get these as close as possible. That's pretty close, but I want them to pretty much be touching. So I'm going to put them in my vise. And with the open part right here, I'm going to put them in there and just give a little squeeze on the vise. Whoa, so they're actually touching. If you have to refile this so it's a nice flush touch, that's fine. And then this is going to be the final part. It's not necessary, but if you want an all welded chain, you're going to be going to your torches again, right there. And all you're going to do is you're going to heat up where they meet. Let me see if I can, there we go. You're going to heat up where they meet until they pretty much start melting. And once they start melting, pull the heat away, and basically you're just going to be torching them together. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. Hopefully you guys can maybe see it happen. While you're doing this, you might have to put a little more pressure on the vise to get that metal to push together. You know, give a little heat in different areas. You'll see it almost turn white when it starts to melt together. Okay, now like I said, you're going to want a really tight fit. You want these touching totally flat. Let me go dunk this in the water real quick without burning myself. And as you can see, that's basically fuse welded together. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the other side. I'm going to do that ring. This side should be a little easier because the ring is actually a smaller diameter steel. So I'll turn my torches on again. If you have the welding rods that come with the torches, you can try and use those too. I really don't, because I'm not actually welding, I'm just kind of fusing them together. You don't want to overdo it. You just want to see that metal just kind of melt together. If you do have some extra wire or something laying around, I got some little wire right here. And if you know how to do this kind of welding, you can just tack it together. And then you have your other side welded. I'm going to go dump this in the heat and the water. Zoom back out. And then you got your welded piece right there. You got your other welded loop. If you need to take this to the sander or a file to clean up any of the bumps or anything, that's totally fine. But then you're going to have your chain. If you use these exact dimensions, 2 feet of chain is the right dimension. You're going to want the overall length. Well, this place is a mess. The overall length from your ring, your chain, your ring, and your weight. Anywhere between 72 to 76 centimeters. And all you do is before you weld on that chain, put it all together, measure it. If you got to take one link off, knock a link off, put that ring onto the next link, measure it. That's why I always get more chain than I need, because then I can always slowly take off pieces until I get the right measurement. The measurement that I came out with was like 72.5 centimeters. So that came out pretty nice. I think all in all, I think this was 97 cents. Chain was like $3. That was like $2, so we're like $6. And this was the only expensive part, was like 13. We'll say $20 overall, just as an estimate. Yeah, you're gonna have a lot of this left over, but if you want to make more fundo, one with two-sided weights out of the round stock, you can. The only other thing that I do to finish this up is You know, all the colors of the steel on here are a little different. I usually sandblast all this. I don't have a sandblaster here with me right now, or I'd show you that. But I'd usually sandblast it and then paint it with durable paint, or I'd black oxide it. But you don't really have to. Looks fine just the way it is. So this is the MSR fundo. So definitely a different design, but I think it's very useful. It's the first time I've made it. I saw it in, what book was that? It's like the How to Throw the MSR Shuriken and Fundo book. Dean's got one for sale. It's actually signed by the author. It's the same book that I have. See, there's the picture I went off of. So definitely a good book. Pick that up. I'd also definitely recommend the new book that just came out by Daniel Fletcher, I think. The Japanese Throwing Weapons. Incredible book. Definitely, if anyone wants to know how to throw the Matsubagata Shuriken. I know a lot of people have been asking everyone, how do I throw these? It gives a great explanation, and that's the way I've thrown them, and it works out great. Comes with a nice little DVD. Great pictures. Explains a lot. The only other book that I can recommend right now is by Mike Lodes. If you guys watch the History Channel, you'll see him on there a lot. He's a great historian. He wrote a book called Swords and Swordsmen. Basically gives the history of swords, sword making, and swordsmen from, you know, the very first swords that were found, you know, ancient Egypt, all the way up to, you know, modern day, when last swords were actually used in World War II for at least the Americans. It gives a great history on all of them, all the different cultures and everything. So it's a great book. I'm only halfway through it right now, but it's awesome. So besides all that, there's your fundo. Hope you guys enjoy. Hopefully I can come up with some other ideas to do some other videos. So that's about it. And until the next time, hope you guys are at least trying some of this stuff out. And like I said, if anyone ever makes anything, you know, send me pictures. Let me know. I always like to see, you know, what everyone else creates. So besides that, I'll see you guys later.